I wanted to talk about what happened in Spain during the vote over the weekend. Some of you were asking me about it during the Super Chat Sunday, so I wanted to just talk about, get a little research on it and talk about it. I went to truthdig.com, and there's a reporter there, Donald Kaufman, that has been reporting basically live from Spain. And so this is Catalonia's referendum Sunday on breaking away from Spain. So basically what happened, as I understand it, they've been wanting to break away from Spain for a while. They were having a vote on it, and the Spanish police basically came in and started taking ballot boxes away and beating people and just said, no, we're not having this vote, which is pretty insane. And since that time, the European Union chief, Donald Tusk, has appealed to Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy to avoid further escalation and use of force in the standoff over the Catalonian independence referendum. Tusk spoke to the Spanish leader Monday and said that even though he shared the constitutional reasoning for not recognizing Sunday's referendum in Catalonia, he wanted the violence that marred the poll not to be repeated. Tusk said in a Twitter message that he appealed for finding ways to avoid further escalation in the use of force. Imagine if Texas or, some of these states always want to talk about seceding. California's talked about it, said, and we voted on it, we're seceding. And then the federal government came in and just took the ballot boxes and beat the shit out of people. And that's basically what Spain did. That's what they did. Now, there's a history, obviously, between these. And people were protesting, but they just came in with nightsticks. And of course, the Spanish officials are doing that thing. You see, we talk about it in America, but it's happening around the world. This is what globalization is. Globalization is just the corporate state taking over the entire planet and telling you you don't have a voice, you don't get to talk, and if you rise up, we're gonna nightstick your face. We're gonna just shoot you or whatever. So. And they're doing that same tactic of they show up and all the protesters got violent. We had to respond this way. You shut up in riot gear, ready to go. And there's a lot of video clips online. I've seen them just grabbing ballot boxes. And, that's the amazing thing about the internet is you're seeing what is happening. So I'm going to put the link below because you can see the whole timeline and everything that this guy has been reporting on. And when it first started going down, the EU was pretty silent about it. Spain is part of the EU, and the EU was just I don't know. Because the Catalonians bloc, those officials were asking for the EU to mediate this. Hey, step in. And the EU said very little. After the violence, the EU steps in and goes, oh, well, we can't have violence. People in Spain's northeastern region of Catalonia have been left upset by the Spanish police crackdown on the Catalonian independence referendum. Still, many say it was right to stage the vote. It was a day of recognition of rights, the human right to vote, said 45-year-old office worker Olga Gui. What the police and the Spanish state did was totally shameful. I hope that what we saw was a clear message. Spanish riot police smashed their way into polling stations across Catalonia on Sunday to try and stop the referendum on independence that the Spanish government said was illegal. Some 850 people have been treated for injuries. Catalonia said preliminary poll results showed 90% favored independence after under half the electorate voted. I'm very annoyed for the both sides involved in what happened yesterday, said Eric T. Argus, 56. I think both sides involved committed grave mistakes, but we must also highlight that if the people of Catalonia go out in the streets and you don't listen to them, then something is not working right. If the Spanish government, I don't know the intricacies of this history. I'm not going to pretend to know. But I will just say this about a general reaction. Governments react that way when they feel threatened. People being independent, breaking away, voting on stuff, then when they feel threatened, if they weren't threatened, why would they send in force? And were there people on the Catalonian side that were maybe trying to instigate some stuff? Probably. But the Spanish government sends in all this force. So what are they threatened by? So it's something I want to follow a little more. I want to get some more information on it, but I just wanted to talk about it because it happened over the weekend. And it's showing that this is a tactic that is being used all over the world. And we're doing it here quite effectively. You want to protest in Standing Rock that you don't want, water is a right, water is life? Nope. Water cannons and bullets. Is it that different than what happened here? I mean, they're voting for a specific thing. They want independence, but can you imagine that? So I appreciate you guys bringing this up to me while we were doing the super chat. So it gave me an opportunity to do some research here, and I obviously love everything that truthdig.com does. And we'll keep following this. And thank you so much for supporting independent media, you guys. Those of you who go to the Patreon and support this show, I've put a PayPal button on my GrahamElwood.com. Some of you, if you just want to donate, you can do that. And also, I got a bunch of tour dates coming up, October 10th through the 14th, San Francisco, St. Louis, and St. Charles, Illinois, outside of Chicago. And LA Podfest, of course. Great ways to support me and support the show, numerous ways, and I really appreciate it so that I can bring you these kind of stories.